Okay, let's unpack this. Our deep dive today focuses on a really specialized, um, almost futuristic water sport, electric surfboards.
Specifically, eFoils and jetboards.
Exactly. And we're not just looking at speed or performance. We're drilling down into something, well, way more mundane, but also absolutely critical.
Logistics.
Logistics. It's sort of the paradox of all this high-tech gear, isn't it?
It really is. You have these incredible machines that let you, literally fly silently over the water. It feels like science fiction.
But then you have to get it there.
But then you realize you still have to haul this thing across like 500 yards of hot sand. And to see how the experts solve this, we looked at sources centered on Andreas Lakeberg and his company, eSurfer.
Right. And Andreas is a serious authority in this space. I mean, he's been running the eSurfer blog and YouTube channel since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, his experience as a dealer for all these different eFoil and jetboard brands since 2018, it just means he sees the practical day-to-day problems up close.
He knows what breaks, what's annoying, what people are complaining about.
For sure. So our mission today is to analyze the solution he and eSurfer came up with for this one huge pain point.
And that's the eFoil cart. It's basically a specialized cart. And by breaking down its design, you get this immediate shortcut to understanding the operational reality of the sport.
Yeah, we're moving from the cool Instagram videos to the nuts and bolts of how you actually use this stuff.
Exactly.
So let's start with that operational challenge itself. In the source material, you see Andreas in his shop in Berlin, and he immediately points to the core problem.
That Lenger distance Zimstrand, the longer distance to the beach.
That walk from the parking lot to the water's edge, it sounds simple, but it's not.
No, with a regular surfboard, you just tuck it under your arm and you go. An eFoil it's a totally different beast.
The whole system.
It's a system. You have the board, you have the mast and the foil wing, the motor, and then the real kicker.
The battery.
That huge, dense, really heavy battery pack.
Exactly. When you factor in the sheer size and then that specific weight distribution, which is all loaded into that one power cell, that simple walk from your car suddenly becomes a major workout.
Right, and the whole point of this eFoil cart is to let you take everything in one single trip.
Yeah, whether the board is assembled and ready to go or if it's all packed down. And that implies there's a ton of other gear you're carrying too.
And that's where you see the need for some, real engineering. A generic garden cart or some standard dolly from a hardware store just isn't going to cut it.
No way.
If you're walking across a paved lot and then onto soft sand, this gear isn't just heavy, it's unbalanced. It's all centered around that massive battery.
You can just picture it. Someone gets tired halfway there, they're more likely to make a mistake, maybe drop a piece or just trip.
Precisely. And in this world, a simple slip, a jarring impact, a drop onto a rock, that's not just an oops moment.
No, that could be thousands of euros in damage.
To the electronics, to the carbon fiber. The strength and the stability of your transport solution has to match the five-figure value of the equipment it's carrying.
So the cart isn't a luxury.
Not at all. It's an insurance policy.
That makes perfect sense. And that idea of mitigating damage leads us right into how eSurfer actually engineered this solution. Let's break down the design choices they made.
Yeah, let's see how they tackled the specific problems we just talked about. The weight, the bulk, and the tough terrain.
Okay, so the first thing that really stands out is that they were thinking about the whole market, not just one brand.
Right, it had to be adaptable.
Totally. The cart comes with a bag in verschiedenen Größen, various sizes, specifically to fit all the major manufacturers and all the board sizes.
That's a key detail. It makes it a universal solution for the whole sport.
And that kind of universal thinking, it really tells you how common this problem is. It doesn't matter if you buy a lift, an Audi, and a wakeboard.
You still have to get it to the water, and the foundation of the cart is clearly about durability. The source keeps saying it's sehr stable and robust gebaut.
Yeah.
Very stable and robustly built.
Yeah, and that robust build is non-negotiable. We're not talking about, cheap plastic here. This has to be high-grade, maybe even marine-grade reinforced materials.
Something that can hold, 70, 80 pounds of gear without flexing or twisting, especially when you're dragging it over roots or rocks.
And handling that rough ground, that's the second big challenge they solved. The design uses these large, oversized wheels.
Which is critical for sand. Small wheels just sink. They dig in, and you're basically just dragging the whole thing.
Right. Big wheels spread the load out. You can actually roll it instead of just pulling dead weight.
But here's the really clever part of the design, the detail that makes it more than just a simple beach cart.
The fact that the wheels come off.
Exactly. Those big wheels can be taken off easily and quickly. It's designed for fast breakdown.
And that modular design is so important for this kind of user. You need the big wheels for the beach, but after your session, you've got to get this huge thing back into a car.
Often a nice SUV or a van where space is tight.
Yeah. Being able to pop the wheels off means the whole thing packs down way more neatly. You don't have these awkward axles sticking out and scratching up your vehicle's interior.
Okay, but the most critical engineering choice, I think, was how they handled the power source.
The battery compartment.
The dedicated battery compartment. This isn't just a pocket. It's about safety, it's about balance, and it's about protecting the single most expensive and vulnerable part of the whole setup.
The battery pack is what defines the center of gravity. It's the densest part.
So locking it into its own compartment does a few things. First, it stops that heavy weight from shifting around while you're moving, which makes the whole cart way more stable.
And second, it protects the battery itself. These lithium-ion packs are incredibly expensive.
And any bad hit could damage the cells or, even worse, create a real thermal risk, a fire risk.
And if you look at their accessory lists, we'll get to that in a minute, they sell fireproof battery boxes for charging that cost over €1,000.
Wow.
So that level of safety concern just underlines why the cart needs its own special compartment with specific ways to secure it.
Absolutely. The source talks about the Mehrere-Gert, multiple heavy-duty straps and belts. And they say these are needed specifically because of that concentrated extra weight of the battery.
So the straps aren't just to close the bag.
No, they're engineered for load distribution. They make sure that heavy center of gravity is held completely rigid when you're pulling or lifting the cart.
Plus, they kind of consolidated the whole user experience into this one package. They added accessory pockets for the small stuff, right?
Yeah, the remote control, your car keys.
So no more leaving your expensive remote on the car roof or trying to juggle it with your towel and phone. It all has a place.
This whole design, it just moves the eFoil cart way beyond normal board bag. It's a complete engineered transportation ecosystem. It's built from the ground up to handle the weird weight, the dimensions, and the high value of these electric parts.
It's a key piece of infrastructure for the sport.
Definitely.
And this level of specialized logistics, it really only clicks into place when you get your head around the cost of this ecosystem. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, the price tags on this stuff, they justify every single one of those design features we just talked about.
This is absolutely in the realm of high-stakes, high-cost gear. So any accessory that protects that initial investment, it stops being a convenience and it becomes a necessity. When we look at the prices for the top eFoils from the big brands, we're consistently seeing them priced between, 11,000 and 17,000 euros or dollars.
It doesn't really matter which brand you pick. You're talking about Audi e-tron foils, Lifty foils, Awake Vinga boards.
They all land squarely in the price range of a brand new car.
A decent car, yeah. And that staggering cost just puts all those engineering decisions into context. The robust frame, the dedicated battery protection, the modular wheels.
It's all about safeguarding a $20,000 piece of equipment from the moment it leaves your garage until it hits the water.
And it's not just the board itself. The cost of the accessories alone shows you how precise and high-end this sport is.
Right. Even the gear that's just for safety and storage has a premium price tag.
Like you mentioned before, that fireproof battery box for over €1,000, that tells you these components are inherently sensitive and maybe a little risky.
Every single piece requires careful handling, so the thing you use to transport it has to respect that.
So the eFoil cart isn't just about making the walk to the beach easier. It is fundamentally an investment protection device.
For sophisticated electronics and delicate carbon fiber parts that are worth a fortune, the decision to make it very stable and robust is a direct economic response to the five-figure price tag of what it's carrying.
The big lesson here, I think, is that niche, high-tech sports require these really deeply integrated solutions. You can't just separate the cool performance vehicle, the eFoil itself flying across the water,
from the boring infrastructure that supports it.
Exactly. From the transport, the storage, the safety gear, the logistical reality of it actually dictates how the support tools have to be engineered.
So we started this deep dive looking at what seemed like a simple beach cart from an expert, Andres Lakeberg.
Right.
And we ended up with this really clear picture of the high-stakes world of eFoiling logistics. We learned that this beach buggy wasn't just for hauling a board.
No, it was about protecting thousands and thousands of euros worth of sensitive tech.
through very specific engineered features, like the universal fit, that dedicated stabilizing battery compartment, and those big, robust yet removable wheels.
We always focus on the flashy, high-speed performance tech. It's what gets all the attention. But the sources here show us that the real innovation, it often happens when you're solving the most basic, boring, practical problems.
Hmm.
For any high-tech, high-cost activity, the infrastructure that supports it is just as important and often just as sophisticated as the main device itself.
So what does this engineering analysis really tell us? If an expert like Andreas Lakeberg has to go and develop a custom, heavy-duty beach buggy just to solve the problem of a 300-yard walk, what hidden, mundane logistical challenges must exist in your field?
Yeah, the everyday friction points that you've just kind of accepted as normal, the things you just deal with.
Think about those operations that you just consider tedious or, inevitable.
And imagine if those challenges were solved with the same kind of dedicated engineering focus, the same investment protection mindset that created this eFoil cart.
How would that fundamentally change the way you operate?
That's something worth thinking about as you consider the true value of specialized solutions versus just, generic convenience.